I convinced myself it was just a brief escape, a way to chase a spark I thought had long faded. My husband, David, was kind and dependable, yet our marriage had sunk into monotony. Quiet meals, weary mornings, empty exchanges. So when Ethan, an old flame, resurfaced with promises of passion and excitement, I gave in. I arranged a secret getaway with him, telling David I'd be spending time with friends. Before boarding the plane, I silenced David's number, determined not to be disturbed. The days that followed were everything I believed I craved: lavish dinners, reckless laughter, stolen kisses that made me feel alive again. With Ethan, I cast off the weight of vows, the home I had built, and the man who still waited for me. Each night I reassured myself it was harmless, that I'd return untouched by consequence, that David would never find out. But in rare moments of stillness, guilt whispered. I pushed it away, keeping my phone off, ignoring his calls, his worry, his love. For 7 days I floated in a fantasy, while David sat at home in silence, abandoned, not knowing where I had gone. When the trip ended, relief and dread tangled in my chest. On the flight back, I reactivated his number, bracing myself for missed calls and desperate messages, but the phone remained silent. I told myself he was simply waiting, saving his anger for later. When I walked into the house, I forced a smile, pretending nothing had changed. But everything had. His shoes were gone from the doorway, his coat no longer draped across the chair. Even his familiar scent had vanished from the air. On the table rested an envelope, my name written in his handwriting. My hands shook as I opened it. Clara, it read. I don't know where you went or why you shut me out, but your silence spoke louder than words. A husband shouldn't have to beg for a place in his wife's life. I waited. I worried. And I realized I deserve better than being shut out. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. I'm done waiting. Goodbye. The words cut deeper than any argument could. My chest tightened, my knees buckled, and I collapsed into a chair. I wanted to call him, to explain, but I knew the truth. My betrayal was exactly what he had feared. Weeks passed with no trace of David. He ignored my calls, my texts, my letters. It was as though he had erased me from his world, leaving me alone in the ruins of what we had. I had gambled loyalty for a fleeting thrill and lost everything. Ethan tried to reach out, but I turned him away. What once felt intoxicating now seemed repulsive. He was never my future, David was. And I had thrown him away. Memories of David's quiet love haunted me. How he filled my gas tank, brewed coffee each morning, steadied me when I faltered. Those small acts mocked me now. I had traded them for nothing. Friends asked why I seemed so hollow, why my ring finger was bare. I muttered excuses about drifting apart, but the truth was far darker. I had destroyed the only thing that mattered. David left before I could beg for forgiveness. Months later, divorce papers arrived, clean, cold, final. No anger, no accusations, only his choice for freedom. Signing them was the last nail in the coffin of our marriage. At night, I still stare at his name in my contacts, wondering if he ever thinks of me. But deep down I know I'll never hear his voice again, never see his smile, never feel the steady love I once had. That single trip didn't just wound our marriage, it erased him from my life. Love isn't about fleeting passion or temporary escape. It's loyalty, respect, and trust. I lost David because I forgot that truth. And though the world moves forward, my heart remains trapped in the silence of the man I betrayed, and who never looked back.